So this part is hilarious. They are starting to argue now. Cece and Ran Ran are starting to argue. And the reason why they're starting to argue is because Cece feels like he doesn't have trust in her abilities and he won't say yes to the negotiation. He says he cannot trust her with the negotiation and she doesn't understand why. And he says it's going to be too much on your plate. So we cut to the cafeteria and they're still arguing about the negotiation. Guess who pops up? Ouyang, and then also Yang Yang. This is going to be hilarious, and it was. And they overhear them arguing, discussing about the negotiation and how he shouldn't trust it to her and how Ran Ran, you hear him say he doesn't think that it's a good idea. So they sit down and you notice how awkward it is because Ouyang already starts to do her thing with Ran Ran and it's like, girl, like, have boundaries. She does not have boundaries. She always likes to remind you that she used to date him and that she has so much control, but it's like he's just a gentleman. So Cece, this pisses her off a lot, but she's very calm about it. And Yang Yang is not talking to her. And so she asks him how come he hasn't talked to her. And he told her, you haven't been returning my calls or my texts. And Ran Ran perks up to that because the night that Cece was mad with him, when he told her about resigning, he was upset with her. She was with Yang Yang. So he said, so that's why you weren't returning my calls. You were with him. That's the night that Yang Yang confessed his feelings and she turned him down. I'm like, this guy is ridiculous. So it's funny. I'm laughing at it, but it's not funny because he does not trust her. And it's like, how can you not trust somebody that you love when that person proves to you time and time again that they're not doing anything wrong? So Ouyang is just sitting there like, this is their real relationship, shocked as can be, and Yang Yang, and he's so awkward. And then Cece asks him about his contract, and he says it's been terminated. And Ouyang tells him that they're no longer working together because of what happened. And then you really start to see Duran, how jealous he is, because he asks her about the phone calls, but then he starts to really argue with her because he's upset that she does not listen to him. But it's like, she's not listening to you. It's just that you should trust her. She says, you really don't trust me. She says, this is like the same thing with the negotiation. That's the whole reason why they're really arguing. He doesn't have enough trust in her for things when it's like, sometimes you don't need it to be your way to get things done. That was her problem when she was CEO. He went to his way and then she always had to go back and fix it because you have to meet in the middle. And that's why the father wanted them to work together in the first place. So she basically doesn't know what to say anymore because she's tired of arguing with him and he's not listening. And he keeps arguing, but it's like very frustrating on both their ends because neither one is listening to each other. It's like this. It's like they're doing this when they're supposed to be like this. They're not on the same page. So Ouyang and Yang Yang leave them alone to keep arguing by themselves because they're not getting anywhere. We could flash away to Jia Yun and Chen Lang is in the office again. He's just always conveniently there. Like, seriously, he always is conveniently in the office. She wants nothing to do with him. One thing I'll say about her is she always finds out something, but she doesn't freak out. She's very calm, cool, and collected about it. And she basically, like, dismisses him from her office, even though he keeps talking to her. And we go, flash, after their scene, to the hospital, where the father's in the hospital, and the mom is taking care of him. And he says to Duran, give this to Cece, and it's 2 folders. Ran Ran's explaining that he doesn't doubt her abilities. He trusts her abilities. But the father says, I don't think you trust it as much, but I want her to know I trust her abilities. And he needs them to be a team because his body is failing him. He no longer can run the company. He cannot run the company anymore. It's too much for him, and he's relying on them. So I got all emotional because you realize the shares, the equity is split between the both of them. And Ran Ran comes to realize that Ru Live is their child and the IQIYI group is what they're going to be running. So that is essentially why the uncle stays on them so much and the dad, because he's going to be running IQIYI with her group and they're also going to be doing Ru Live. So all the people they're meeting on their journey is going to help them keep building this amazing corporation that needs to come into the times. And I was like, Cece, I started crying with her because didn't her dad wish this for her? And she got her wish. She got her shares. She didn't have to scream. She didn't have to complain. She had to backstab anybody. She had to steal from anybody. She got her shares. And then she just got 2 people in her corner that wanted to help her succeed and live a better life than what she had. So that made me for episode 33 and 34, sorry guys, I was really interrupted. I had to go finish Thanksgiving shopping because I'm cooking with my family. So episode 33, I explained to you some basics that are happening. Basically, Cece figured out a plan since they suspended most of the live streamers' accounts. There's only 2 accounts that are open. That's Yabo and Susu and Mr. Lu. They create a couple account for them because everybody's noticing how they flirt, but they're not realizing that they like each other. Susu keeps going on blind dates, and he keeps following her to the blind dates. It's so cute. So then basically Yabo has a date with her father. It's going to go into 34, and the date is basically celebrating his birthday. And he asks her to come work for his company, but she says, we have different ideas right now. And she says, I love doing mukbangs. And he doesn't understand her, but then she explains to Jae-yoon and all of them, basically their relationship and Susu, about why it's like that. So you get like a little backstory on her, and it's really good to see that her dad supports her, but he's afraid that he failed her since her brother who died. I didn't know that. That's another story we get. So Jae-yoon basically is feeling very upset because she feels very betrayed and stupid about everything that Chin-long has done. And then Cece just like explains it to her that it's not her fault. So then after Chin-long figures out that Jae-yoon is done with him, he goes to his minion and he asks his minion what happened. And his minion says he switched to products in the Cloud Live box and gave him products that they weren't supposed to sell because Mr. Tang or Mr. Yang told him to do so. They're all minions. This is just really funny. How is it that you're not understanding you're not beating Rue Live because you're minions? You have to be a team, not a person that's destroying people. So then Cece speaks to Jae-yoon, and Jae-yoon doesn't really tell her, and then Yabo notices that Jae-yoon has something with Chin-long, and she says it to her, you guys look good together. And they're speaking. And the sad thing about this is Jae-yoon looks like she's ready to give him a chance, but he keeps failing. So when we leeway into episode 34, he takes the idea that Rue Live had and gives people, the company workers, 1% stock if they can make a certain percentage. I don't like the way that he did that. I think that if he was going to do that, he could at least just made it less of an incentive program because his workers already work hard. He should have just given it to them. They're not as much as a startup as Rue Live is because Cloud Live hasn't had as many setbacks. I feel like sometimes he's too greedy with his workers. And basically, Cola is struggling because he doesn't want to give her her own room. He tells her she has to work harder. Why do you have to work harder when you sold out your company to help him prosper? See, this is what Duran Ran and Jae-yoon were talking about to her, that she should just be happy with success instead of trying to get up in ways that she doesn't know. And she's not listening until she finds out the hard way. So basically, she's at Cloud Live and she has to work harder. And he shows her content of her with Ducky and how affable she was. But my thing was, this is why you should have never left Rue Live. I don't feel bad for her, but at the same time, it's like, how can somebody tell you you're not doing good enough when you were one of the top at Rue Live? So that's her humble pie. So now I'm waiting for episodes 35 to 36, and we're going to see what's coming next. But basically, just to give you a heads up, the next baddie is coming. It could be either the uncle or the man that's behind the scenes. I know it seems like the drama's a little dry. It's a little dry because they're trying to incorporate everyone into the storylines. So you're going to see the mom start to push back against Duran and Cece's relationship, and the dad is going to be their supporter. But always remember, parents are always going to be a unit, even if one disagrees, but they're just going to have an opinion. And I'm trying to figure out, is Duran's uncle baddie or goodie? Is he for them or against them? That's the one thing I'm confused on. So that's what's coming up. This week's episodes so far have been so good, so I'm waiting to see what is the ball going to drop for what's coming next for Wednesday and Thursday's episodes. Guys, I'm going to try to get in before 10 o'clock, but it's kind of difficult when you got to break it down in less than 15 minutes. So I apologize. Make sure you subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, like, and go through the link so you can get IQIYI for 3 days. If you want to wait till Sunday so you can watch all the episodes for this week. And if not, wait till next week so you can watch the whole series and binge as VIP for 3 days. Until next time, guys. Bye. Boom, 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 boom.